to be so ironic was how grandmother's birthday was in May and mother's birthday was in May. And how granddaddy, Devers, her husband, his birthday was in June and our dad's birthday was in June.
All of my sisters, I want you to catch this. Our mother, their daughter, birthday was May 31st. Our father, whose name was William, his birthday was June 30th. Our grandparents, their birthdays, May and June, and Mom and Dad were May and June.
Granddaddy Devers' first name was William and our dad's first name was William.
That ought to make the hair stand up on the back of your neck.
Rose Ballard died on Eileen Devers' 39th birthday in 1939, which was the same time Edwin passed away.
She died 39?
I mean, when you start looking at all these similarities and how they come together, you're like, oh my golly, this is just almost creepy.
Yeah, see, they've got her January 26, 1886.
There's so much that you're taking in at one time that you don't really seem to take it all in there.
And May looks like 13th.
It's not until after you've left and then you start thinking about that headstone and then you start piecing it together after you have left the different sites.
In 1905, James Richard Devers was born to Thomas Hillary Devers and Rose Lillian Ballard Devers.
James Richard Devers.
James Richard Devers was named after his mother's father and grandfather.
He was born 1905 and he died
1923. In 1923, James Richard Devers passed away in February, just 5 days before his 18th birthday.
That's Granddaddy's brother.
Then in December of 1923, William Chester Devers and Edna Alline Houck Devers gave birth to their firstborn son.
Charles Edwin Devers.
They named him Charles Edwin Devers after my grandmother, Alline Devers' father, Charles Houck.
1923 to 39.
You find these patterns that are
Ironic. I mean, absolutely ironic.
in 1939. Charles Edwin Devers passed 6 days before his 16th birthday.
So they lost a son at 17 and they lost a son at 16.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And you find that out as you're walking through the cemetery. Walking through the cemetery, we also discovered another surprise. That house that they lived in at Pulliam is right across the street from the cemetery.
Okay, so that is the house where they lived in as kids. Right there, that's Pulliam.
When we found out that Aunt Cecilia's childhood home was right across the street from her gravesite, we were astounded.
They grew up in that house, that little white house. And she's buried right here in the cemetery.
Originally, she was buried in the front part of the cemetery, and when her husband passed away, her children had her body moved to the other site.
Cecilia Devers Gibby Chesser.
Which is right across the street from the house where she grew up.
Yeah.
June 9th. She was born June 9th, 1934.
I think that when Aunt Cecilia's body was moved so that she could lay beside Stanley, I think she was watching over the banister of heaven with a big old smile on her face as she watched her children move her to the site right across from her childhood home.